The only certain barrier to truth is the belief that you already have it. What if everything we ever thought to be true turned out to be a lie? And what if this world and everything we think about reality turned out to be very different to what we believe it to be? It's a question that I find quite interesting, and it's a question that very much upsets a lot of people. We don't really know what's going on because we simply don't have access to the right information. We've had so much information changed and stolen and taken from us, and history is very, very different to what we've been led to believe. And I have no qualms in saying that simply because I've travelled so much and I've looked at so many things, and nothing can be explained by the academic version of history. So it's really important that people remain objective when looking at all this, and remember, always bear in mind and always keep in focus that all you really know is that which exists within living memory. All the rest of it comes from books, and we have no way of confirming the authenticity of any of these books. So you really have to look at the evidence, the physical evidence, and you have to be prepared to keep an open mind. And I know it may be a very confronting thought for people to have to consider that maybe the books are wrong, maybe they've been lied to, but again, all I'm asking is that you look at the physical evidence and keep an open mind. And really, I think that is the most important thing anybody can do in any of this. Realize that if this truly is a quest for truth and a quest for freedom, then you need to be careful what you believe along the way. And you need to maintain an open mind and always look at things objectively and be open to everything. You've got to be prepared to consider everything, but believe nothing. Belief is the enemy of knowledge, and if you adopt a belief system, it's going to affect all the information that comes after that point. You're going to bring it all into your belief system, and you're going to judge it accordingly, rather than being open-minded and letting the threads lead you where they may. I mean, I'm absolutely open to everything, folks, any possibility. I certainly don't believe anything that I'm told by academia, not anymore. I mean, I've lived too long to believe what I was taught in school. I've lived too long to believe what I read in history books simply because of the stuff that I've seen when I've travelled around the world. And new discoveries are made all the time, and many of these discoveries just don't make the academic world. They don't want to change the textbooks, it would seem. Things like petrification, fossils that we find around the place, these are all presumed to be millions of years old. And yet there's new evidence that fossils are actually formed quite quickly. There was a recent discovery I read somewhere, I'll see if I can dig up the information and get back to you later, but I read somewhere, you might find it yourself if you do a search, that there was a foot or a shoe print that had been found in a rock, and the manufacturer recognised the shoe print, something like that. As I said, I'm a little bit vague on it, but I'll try to get the information for you. But the thing is that there was this fossilised shoe print, and the shoe was actually made in 1929, and there it was, a fossilised print of this shoe. So fossils can be formed very quickly. And yet still, when we go to science sites or archaeological websites, they'll tell you fossils take millions of years to form, and such is simply not the case. So new information is being discovered and uncovered all the time. And this is certainly the case in regard to our history, ladies and gentlemen. In regard to our history, in regard to monuments and relics and just stuff from the past lying all over the earth. New things are being uncovered all the time, and they're serving to build quite a compelling image of our past. As I've been alluding to, what it's all been leading towards is the fact that there was this worldwide civilization that existed not too long ago. As I keep saying, folks, it's becoming very, very apparent that history is very much different to what we've been led to believe. And again, this is what got me started on this journey back when I was 8 years old. I was very interested in history, and it's what got me onto this whole conspiratorial rabbit hole that I've been on my whole life. You start looking into ancient history, and you start realizing that it's wrong. Everything they tell us is wrong. There's monuments and artifacts lying everywhere which tell a completely different story, and it can't be that they simply missed these things. I mean, there's so many of them, and once you discover how many of them there actually are, it becomes apparent that this isn't just someone not getting the right idea and missing the artifacts. It's a deliberate cover-up. And the thing is, the cover-up goes so deep, the question is, how deep does it really go? And it's those sort of questions that get you in all sorts of trouble when you start investigating these things and start attempting to figure out just how deep the lie is. And also the evidence that I discussed recently of ancient technology, free energy devices, the fact that it seems that free energy was very readily available a few short years ago, well, at least a couple of centuries ago anyway. And I don't know about you, but I find all of this stuff incredibly interesting and intriguing, looking into the concept of ancient technology, and technology that's very different from the technology we use now, such as sound frequency technology. I've seen a lot of reports recently talking about the organs, the old pipe organs, and what these were really used for, whether they were in fact instruments that were used to create sound frequency that was used for healing. And this may sound preposterous to a lot of people, but these pipe organs in these cities and these small towns, it seems like every town has one as well. I've even got reports from little villages in Mexico that don't have very much there. They've got dirt roads and all sorts of stuff, but there'll be a church in the town which has a huge pipe organ. They don't really know where it came from, but it's there. And the question is, what was the real purpose of these instruments? Were they merely for creating music, or was it really a sound healing system that they had? And when you begin to consider these type of things, even if you don't want to believe them, just considering them, it does open up a whole new train of thought for people. But where does it all lead? All of this type of discussion, that's the question, isn't it? I mean, all of the stuff that's happening, some people may ask, what is the point of looking down these rabbit holes and discussing what may have happened in the past? Well, the point is that this past is so recent. It's not thousands of years ago, it's just hundreds of years ago. And I've tried so many ways of awakening people. I've pointed out the clear and present danger that we're in. I've pointed out the state of urgency that we're in, and to empower people. And the concept that we had free energy as little as 150 to 200 years ago, and we lived in a completely different society, I find incredibly empowering. And if people can grasp this concept and see how recently it really was, that we were very likely in much freer societies than we are now, it may inspire them to want to get back to that. But I don't know, I find all of this type of information really empowering. Perhaps it will inspire people to actually shake the sleep from their eyes, because that's really what it's like. It's like people are walking around in a daze. All of this technology exists all around them. All of this old world, a lot of the old world still exists all around them, but they're simply not seeing it because they can't see outside of the social construct that they have in their minds. They can't see beyond the history that they've been told, the history they've been taught, the world that they've been indoctrinated into believing is real. But it's there, folks. All of this technology is there, and all of the evidence to support the fact that there was this worldwide culture is there. It's all right in front of everybody's face, hidden in plain sight, as they say. We just build stuff around it and we make it blend in with the new stuff, and it looks like it kind of belongs there, but it was just built by those guys back in the past who did things so great and did things so wonderfully. And we always do this. We admire the skills of the past, and yet at the same time we're told that we're living in a society which is progressing and we're doing things much better now than what we used to do. But have a look at some of this stuff from the past. We don't construct anything anywhere near anything like anything that even comes close to some of the structures that they built back then. So if we're in a society that's progressing forward and getting more and more skilled and more advanced as we go, how come everything is degrading so badly around us? All of our constructs are degrading. Everything we build is substandard, and it gets more and more substandard as we go along. Why is that? And of course you could look at that and say, well, it's the result of the economic model, it's the result of scarcity, it's the result of needing to maximize profits and minimize expense in creating the products. And so it's all due to the corporate system. But really, when you even look at that, it means that the corporate system is designed to remove people of their life skills and designed to cheapen everything and create a throwaway society so that society itself can be eventually thrown away. How is this progress? How is this anything that is benefiting humankind? That's the thing. A lot of people, when they look at society, they just view it economically. They don't view it from a human perspective. But our society should be there to support life. That should be first and foremost the absolute mandate of anything that we construct to have people living in. Any cities should be designed to support life. We don't need cities that are designed the way they are, that are designed to run economically and that are based on profit. Medical systems that are based on profit, energy systems that are based on profit. Everything is based on profit. It's this introduction of money and thus scarcity over the human experience which creates all of this substandard culture that we've got, all these substandard products. It removes us of everything that it means to be human by imposing this economic model over people. That's what it's been for. That's what it's been designed to do.
Help by spreading this message. Share with your friends, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Turn on notifications to stay updated.